I'm really good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. So good talking to you. I feel like we follow each other on Instagram, and I'm so stoked to actually get to meet you.
Isn't it weird how many people you like? It's like, I know everything you do every day, but you have no idea who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I'm kind of like, man, if we were to pass each other on the street, like, what would happen? Now we'll definitely say hi.
Yeah. It's a very small world, but no, it's nice to actually meet your face.
Yeah, likewise. Um, Despite this year of 2020, I would say that you've had quite a busy year. You've got your third single Over Here coming out tomorrow. Huge.
Yes. Yeah, very excited.
Well, third single of 2020, I should say.
Yes, of this year.
Yeah.
I know I'm someone who like I cannot function unless I'm busy, and I'm so used to being busy. So when shows stopped and all of that, I kind of had a bit of like an existential crisis, and I was like, that's what makes me happy, and that's like my whole identity. So what do I do? So like my shock response was like, just write heaps of new music, just stay in the studio, keep doing what you love, and it sort of has gotten me through. And like I say to so many of my music friends, like, aren't we lucky that we have a creative outlet in a time like this? Because it's honestly saved me from being bored or from overthinking or being in my own head. So yeah, I think that's why I've been releasing a lot, because I'm like, well, I can't perform, so I'm just going to give people heaps of music. So yeah.
I'm so glad that's the case. I feel like it goes like either way with artists. It's either like, this is therapy, like I'm going to be hyper productive, I have all this time to like focus on my craft, or people just get like almost anti-creative, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I just can't do anything. So it's really nice that you fall into that side of the category.
Oh, I went through that, and I think like whether you admit it or not, everyone's had their slump phase this year, and there's been times where I don't want to get out of bed, or I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to write, I don't feel like, even if I want to write, there's nothing to write about, like I'm not going out and meeting new people and stuff. So there's been ebbs and flows, but I think having those down times as well, where you're not motivated and like productive and stuff, when you do hit that feeling of being really creative and motivated, it makes it even better, because you've been down here and then all of a sudden you're up here, and it makes it like, cool, I'm back. So it's good to experience both, I think. And I don't think, well, like, kudos to anyone that has, but I don't know if anyone could get through this year without having at least like a week or a month of feeling like that. So yeah, I've been
honestly. Yeah, I feel that. I totally feel that. There have been a lot of days where I feel like, oh, I just can't do anything. But you touched on it just before, in that it's hard to find inspiration in these sort of days. But your last single, Saving Bugs, was written famously about, lying on a lilo, scooping bugs out of the water. Now it's like this really great, story that people can read into. Tell me about the inception of Over Here.
Yeah, Over Here was sort of one, like, it's weird going from Saving Bugs, where I was really like focusing on the lyrics, and I was getting inspiration from people who were very lyric driven, and I thought hard about what I was writing and then the metaphor that I turned it into. But Over Here was like, I think I was more feeling the beat for this song, and I just wanted to create a dance song, and I came up with the melody first, and I was just sort of like, which I do a lot in sessions, I'll sing along, like I'll sing a melody and sort of just go da da da, and then whatever words come out. So it was more of a like, I'm just gonna sing what words feel right. And I think at the time I was like just at that brink of feeling way better and more myself after going through heartbreak, and it was like, well, we've got a beat that sounds like it's flowing along, and that's how I feel I am, so let's just write about that. And I just started singing I'm Found Without You Over Here, and it just kind of flowed from there. So it was a lot less of a thought process with this song, and it came super naturally. And I wrote the verse and the chorus in one day, recorded in that session, and then I just didn't change. Like sometimes I change bits and pieces of lyrics, but I was like, that's what I was feeling at the time, and that's what was true to this session, so I really want to keep it that way, even if it's a bit simple. I don't want to go and use synonym.com and find more challenging lyrics. I just want to like keep it as it is, because it's super authentic, and it was just like easygoing for me. So yeah, I think that's how I would put it. I didn't even want to write a second verse. I was like, this is good, let's keep it going, let's make it a dance track. First verse, repeat it, it's perfect. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think a dance track lends itself to like a story of empowerment in that sense, where you're like, fuck you, over you, doing my own thing, just dancing on this dance floor. You know what I mean?
yeah, and like I was like, this could be a song that could be played at clubs if they were open, festivals, but it's also a song that I'm like, I would dance to this in my bedroom, and it's like it could be in two different worlds. It can be really personal or it can be a public song. And I was like, I want to write something that people can just sing to on a dance floor, but can also actually listen to and relate to and go, oh, I know that point of like switching from feeling like shit and going through something and then finally being on the other end of it. So it's like a celebration of independence sort of song.
I'm about that. I'm so about that. I'm intrigued because you come from this question might come from a place of just pure naivety on my end, but you come from a producer background, like having like, gone to proper like Ableton Live school and things like that, doing lessons and things. And you look at your single Mess, which was like purely produced by yourself. Why do you decide to collaborate with other producers?
Yeah, I think like,
all yourself.
yeah, and a lot of the time I do. I have a lot of songs just sitting on my computer that I've done on my own, but I think everyone that I work with, I learn something new from, and it's also fun. Like for every 4 days that I sit in my room writing my own music, like the 5th day working with someone and telling them what you're going through and then creating something together is definitely the best day out of those. So I enjoy learning from people and having a different experience every time I go into the studio. I think the I will produce things and then I'm so hard on myself that I'm like, oh, it's there, but I want it to be here, so I'll send it to someone to finish. So I do a lot of half productions that are like half baked, and then I'll get someone to turn it into a big beautiful thing, because I just want it to be really really polished, and I have high expectations of myself. But I think the music that I like producing is more down tempo as well, and to have those big, beautiful, atmospheric pop sounds, there's just people who do it fantastically, and I'm still learning there. So maybe I'll get to a point where I do more pop productions on my own. But at the moment, I'm loving working with new people and, just doing storytelling in sessions and stuff. It's so much fun.
I also think it's like, it can be such like a solo pursuit. So it's nice to have, to see other people. And also, I don't know, if I can imagine if I was in your shoes, I would just find it hard to walk away and be like, that's done. Like you've finished on that project. It's as good as it gets, because you'd learn things along the way, and then you'd look back and be like, oh crap, like I've learned how to do that better now. Like I better polish it up. And then by the time you finish that, like it'd just be a never ending paradox.
It is. It's almost like when I go into sessions with new producers and stuff, I'll have a reference playlist, and I'm like, I love this sound from this song, but the like swing beat of this song and this sort of, and I have all these different things, and I'm like, tell me if I'm being too specific, but sometimes it's good because, like you said, otherwise you don't know where to start and you don't know where to end, because there's just so many possibilities when you're starting a song. So the more specific I can be in my own head and briefing others, it's like, that's when you're going to have that moment of like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted for this song. And a lot of the time when I write a top line, I know exactly how I want the instrumentation to sound around it. So but it's very hard to be like, that's finished, it's done. I reckon every song I release, I could spend another year on if I wanted to and change it completely. But you get to a point, you're just like, I need to let myself chill out and, just be happy with it, and like, just let people hear it for what it is. So yeah
exactly. You got to let the people have hear your music that you've been working on, for sure.
I can't keep it shared too long. Yeah.
You launched Chase Zera like only last year, right? Like after a big trip around Europe. Tell me about those formulative days of this project as opposed to your last project as Ebony.
Yeah, I love that, and that's the sort of down tempo stuff that I produce on my own. I just, as a dancer, and every time I would picture myself performing, and when I listened to like Kylie Minogue and Lady Gaga and stuff, I always felt like there was a disconnect between the music I was making and the music I really wanted to perform to. And I knew from the start that performing would be a huge part of my career, because that's what I love doing. So I was like, why wouldn't I make music that I want to dance on stage to and other people can dance to? So I still write that music just for pleasure, but I was like, I want a project that's a dance pop project that I can dance to live, and you know, I can have dances and glittery costumes and all of that. So I think the Ebony project was it was a good learning curve, and that was like, I got a lot of production skills under my belt. But after, like you said, going away and being able to properly think about it and where I wanted to go with my career in terms of a project, I think like this is more me and this is what I want to do. So the good thing about music is whether you release it or not, you can always write in a bunch of different genres, and then you can just choose whatever to release. So yeah, the Chase Zera project was me just going like, no, actually I want to be a pop star. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to dance on stage. I want to dance to my music. So yeah, but I think like everything I did before then shaped it, and I wouldn't have done Chase Zera if I didn't first do that and go, that's too slow for me. So I'm still grateful I had those years of doing other projects and writing with other people and, you know, trying everything out before I got here.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a learning curve. But what did you learn from launching this project, having done it like a clean slate again? And obviously now you're with Warner and all that sort of stuff. What have you learned that you wish you knew at the very beginning?
I'm still learning, and I'm sure I'll like be learning the whole way that I go. I think so many things, but I never get to a point and go, oh cool, I've achieved that, I can just stop there, or that was a goal I had, yes, I got it. Like if I really think about it, a lot of goals I had I've reached, like playing certain shows and, you know, luckily signing to Warner and stuff. But unless I really stop and think about them, I don't think about it. I just sort of keep going. But I think I would like to go back and tell myself that I'm doing the right thing by just not caring about any sort of rejection or judgment, or the fact that, you know, music is subjective and everyone's going to have different opinions. But I think I did the right thing by respecting people's opinions, but also not letting it get to me and make me quit. And I'm so glad that I kept going even when things seemed like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this as a career. So yeah, I've learned that persistence and determination is the most important thing. Yeah.
And I think that's just purely born out of passion, you know, like if you weren't passionate, you wouldn't be here. It's one of those industries where it's so cutthroat, where it's like, you got to stick around for the long haul. And also so many people, it's subjective, it's art. Like so many people, you're not going to please everyone.
Yeah. And I have this mentality that if you're doing what you love and you're enjoying yourself, whether it's on stage or in a recording, like behind a song, whatever it is, if you enjoy it and you love it, people are going to hear that and be on board. Maybe not everyone, not everyone's always going to like you, but there's going to be people that respond to it, because I like when people are passionate about what they do and I respond to it. So of course it's going to be the same thing. So if you do it for the right reasons, you know,
it's infectious.
You'll make friends along the way.
Yes. Speaking of friends, speaking of passion and people seeing it, you're supporting KLP soon at the Watson Bay Hotel, November 15. Is this like your first gig of the year, pretty much? Are you excited?
Sadly, yes. Yeah, I'm so excited. My last gig that I did was in February in New Zealand, supporting KLP as well. So we've come full circle. We've done the whole thing. That was a live show. I was sort of a little bit opposed to doing DJ sets when I first started the Chase Zera project, because I was just so excited that I had choreographed dances and stuff, and I was like, no, I want to do live shows all the time. But now I'm like, I will take what I can get. If I have to do a DJ set to a seated dance floor, I'll do it. And you know, just being out and sharing music with people, whether it's DJing or singing or dance, like even if it's acoustic, like I'm happy to do it. And I think that's what this year has shown me, that like as long as it's music and I'm having a good time, I don't care where it's coming from or how I'm performing it, it's great. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Are you going to be teaching the audience like little seated? I imagine you could do like choreographed seat dances. Be like, all right, guys, here we go. Like almost like a TikTok.
I'm sure my manager will. He always dances at my gigs. He'll get people up and dancing. He'll be dancing from his seat. I mean, not up and dancing, upright seated dancing. But yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, KLP, she's awesome. And somehow she's juggled DJing and producing and being a mum during this pandemic. So she deserves a cocktail, I reckon.
100%, 100%. Is there anything else coming up in your world we should know about?
Yeah, I have maybe another exciting little show that's happening at the end of the year that will be announced soon. Something quite intimate and stripped back. So that will be really exciting, and I'm excited to announce that. And then a little bit more new music before the end of the year too. I'm saving a lot of my new music for next year. Just going to go all out with it. But yeah, I've still got a few more things to come this year. I'm like squeezing as much as I can in before the silly season. So yeah, there's a bit more to come.
Holy damn, you do not stop.
I don't.
Thank you so much for joining me, Chase Zera, and congrats again on Over Here. Phenomenal. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I hope you like it.